Welcome to the conference on renewable energies. Hello everyone and welcome to this space of bilingual environments in association with the bilingual department and the science area, starting with the conference of renewable energies. Today we are joined by the engineer Andrea Lache, who is master in renewable energies and will introduce us to this wide world of green energy. Remember that if you have questions, you can put them in the corresponding space, and at the end, it will be read and answered by the engineer. Welcome. Now, yes, engineer Andrea Lache, welcome to San Pacho School, and thank you for being with us this morning.
Hi, Sebastian. It's really nice for me be here with you and with all the students talking about some of the topics that really passionate me in my life, in my profession. So I hope that this presentation will feel some curiosities about the students. Let's talk. You told me if I start.
Thank you very much for your time. The public is open to you. Go
Okay.
ahead when you are
Okay.
ready.
Well, I decided to noun this presentation renewable energy is the opportunity for an energy transition because it's what we are seeing right now in the current energy sector and the current reality of the planet about climate change and other issues and other concerns that the world have right now. So let's start talking about some things general. Are you seeing my slide?
Yes,
The
or
second
not.
slide?
You cancelled your share screen.
No, I don't do it that, but I know that this happened when I try to
Doesn't matter.
change
You
the
can
slide.
tell me exactly now.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes, now it's
Okay.
live.
Okay. Well, what's energy? The main definition is the quantitative property that must be transferred to an object in order to perform a work or a heat. Or to hit an object. So it's the capacity to do a work. Where when you eat, when you consume food, you give your body the energy necessary to make the things that you do in a day. So that's the same thing with all the kinds of energy that we have and we use to make different works. So another thing that is very important and you must to have in mind is that energy can neither be created or destroyed. Energy is there in different ways, in different forms, and all the things that we have to do is the ability to transform that energy in the kind of energy that we need in our process, in our daily activities. Okay, what happened? I have an issue because I think that when I try to change the slide, I close the
It's weird,
sharing
really weird.
screen. Something something weird happened.
That
So
doesn't matter. Now we are
again,
watch your.
again, yeah. Well, what kind of or forms of energy exist? There are several. So maybe we used to think about electrical energy or maybe mechanical energy is the most common that we think with when we talk about energy. But there are another like chemical. I'm putting right here a fire because it's what content of energy or chemical energy in the wood. There are some compounds that contain chemical energy and we can transform it in thermal energy, that is this one. over here. The other kind of energy is like potential. Maybe some of you can remember from your physics class, that is the energy related with the height, with a vertical displacement, and with the gravity. So for that reason, I put it here, a hydroelectric photo plant, because that is what the hydroelectric energy do. Uh, Use the potential energy. The other one is the radiant, is the most common that we use, we have around us all the day, is the energy from sun. And other kind of energy, yes, is elastic energy. Some that are the main forms of energy. So which are the energy sources? We have oil, is one of the most common. Oil has have been the source that promote the develop of the many industries since, I don't know, maybe the last 50 years. Coal is the other one that is considered also fossil energy, fossil fuel. And the last one is natural gas that we have in our houses. So all all these three sources are considered, as I said before, fossil source of energy, and they are considered non-renewable. Why? Because they take millions of years to be created, and we have available right now. Maybe 500 years ago, we don't have the same quantity of oil, carbon, because they were still formatting in the underground of the earth. So for that reason, they consider non-renewable, because they reserves are limited by our consume. So there is a scenario where renewable energies start to be interested, because they will be there for many years, and there are not limited reserves or source of that renewable source of energy. So there is sun for solar energy. There is biomass. I will talk about it later. There is wind energy. There is hydro energy. There is geothermal energy. This photo is from Iceland, the country, Iceland. So if you want to hear more Iceland about geothermal, Iceland is the place where you have to go to see how geothermal works. And the last one is energy from the oceans, from the sea. There are some movements in the sea that can be used to transform its energy into another kind of energy. And the last one that we was talking before this conversation is the nuclear, that is not considered not considered as renewable, but is not also a fossil source. So it's a source with some specific challenge and concerns, but is another important actor in the energy sector. Okay, so there are two kinds of considerations about the energy consumption. We can talk about primary energy, and we can talk about secondary energy. The primary energy are those sources that that we see in this slide, and the secondary is usually focused on electricity or electrical energy, because we produce that kind of energy from the main sources that we saw before. That's the big difference. So when we speak that in Colombia our energy matrix or union of energy we talk about is renewable, because we have hydropower, but the reality is that that is true also, or no, sorry, just for electrical sector. When we speak about all the energy that we consume, that is not true, because we have energy for transport, for electrical energy, but also for thermal energy. And that's the reason why we have the consumption around the world is 33% of oil, natural gas, coal are the main energy source that we are using right now, and they are a small quantity of renewables, hydroelectric that is separated because it's bigger than other renewables, and nuclear energy. So, what are the disadvantages of this fossil source? The main disadvantages are related with climate change, that maybe you have heard about climate change in the news, when something like Providencia and San Andres happened the last year, because all those things are related with the use of fossil fuels, and also relate with climate change and greenhouse effect and global warming, all those problematics issues. Other disadvantage of this source are the availability, because you know that maybe our neighbor Venezuela has many more reserves that we have. We in Colombia are looking for another reserves of oil in order to continue providing the quantity of oil that we provide currently. But if we don't have, or we don't find another reserve, we will have to change or to start buying oil to our neighbors like Venezuela. So that is an important issue, because there are countries where they don't have any quantity of oil. So they must buy natural gas, oil or carbon from another countries. And the other concern is limited reserves. Reserves. I think that this the right pronunciation of the word. And that limit reserves uh, could generate an scarcity of the resource, and could grow up the prices and have another consequence. So I want just to show you where is the consumption, where is the place around have a bigger consumption, and that is, you could see Asia and it with the population. So in Asia, countries like China, India, Japan, also, I don't know, the southwest of Asia have many population. So for that reason, they grow up so fast since 2000 in the consumption of energy, and that is an important fact, because they are more concerned about ensure the energy supply. So in that scenario, since 2015, we have the global goals for sustainable development that was proposed in a conference of nations that have place every year. And in that 17 goals, we try to focus the main concerns of the humanity for the next years. So things like no poverty, zero hunger, good health, and in the seventh goal are in specific interest and concern and objectives, specific objectives to make a transition to a clean energy model. Why? Because the current model is causing the climate change and other environmental issues. So for that reason, the goals make a priority the transition. Okay. So in that scenario, let's understand about a little bit more about the principle of working of how works the each renewable energy source that we mentioned before. So the first one that I choose for show you it's solar, because solar is the main energy that creates another of the renewable energies. So we can have solar directly with the photovoltaic cells or the heat of the sunlight rays to heat water and use that water in a specific need, like hot water for our homes, things like that. But we can also have another kind of heat, sorry, heat energy from sun energy that is some mirrors that we used to make up every morning. So that mirrors can be used to redirect the rays or the light of the sun to a specific point. When I can put a big quantity of that rays in the same place, I start to increase the temperature of that point, and I can use that temperature for a specific process that I need, or also for convert in electricity. Is easier to say. So that is one of the use that we can have from sun energy, solar energy, which is the principle. So we have radiant energy, and we convert that radiant energy into electrical energy and also into thermal energy. There are other uses of the solar that we will see in the next one. Do you know how works wind? How is produced wind in the earth? There are in reason of the movements of the earth related with the sun, there are some suns with more incidental of contact with the sun rays, and on others places with less sun rays. So that difference of temperature and incidence of the sun makes that there are some heat points and cool points, and that creates the current of the wind. For that reason, wind energy is also a kind of solar energy. So what happened with wind? We have, or the wind have mechanical energy, and we use that mechanical energy to convert or to have electrical energy. How it is doing? These wind turbines, have different kind of axes, vertical or horizontal axis that in the movement creates an electromagnetic champ, and in that electromagnetic champ I can produce electricity. That is the main, the form that the energy is converted to from mechanical to electrical. There are many applications. We can have small scales. The main turbines are with vertical axis, and in that applications is maybe for a home, for a town, in a small scale. And for big scale, when we can produce electricity to ensure that electricity for the the red, I don't know, red, the word for the electrical supply of the country. So in that way, we have onshore turbines and offshore. We can use sea over the oceans because it's faster than in the ground, in the shore. So for that reason, there are many countries doing this investment into this kind of turbines. Countries like Denmark have a very small territory, but they have a really big marine platform. So they have ocean, and they put it turbines to have the that is just one of the example. Another and the most known renewable energy is or hydropower energy. How it works? We have the potential energy of the water in the rivers. We concentrate that a big amount of water in a specific place, and we conduce the water through these pipes in order to move these turbines here. So this movement also creates an electromagnetic champ here, and we can then have electricity again. So potential energy into electrical energy. This potential energy is here where we have stored the water. But then when we conduce the water through the pipeline, we have mechanical energy and then electrical energy. That is the the way that it works. The next one is my favorite because I work with this one, is biomass energy. And biomass energy is just another form on solar energy. Why? Because the first photovoltaic panel in the world is the leaf of the trees. Did you know? There is when the tree take the sunlight, the photons in the sunlight, and convert it into the energy that the plant needs. So that kind of use of the solar energy make me or give me the opportunity after the plant grows and the maybe if it's a tree and I cut the tree, or I have produced some food, all the agricultural crops that is here have some kind of waste. Maybe if you buy a corn, you know that the how can I say, the leaves or outside the corn, you don't eat it, and that is a kind of biomass. So all these kind of things we can use it to produce also energy, and non just energy. We can produce biofuels, we can use it for thermal energy. So that is the reason why I love biomass, because they have more opportunities than the other ones. The other ones is just energy, and in this one we can produce some products. Maybe you have heard about bioplastics, bio well, bioplastics is the most common. Biofuels, all of these are produced from biomass. So we can have sewage from humans or from animals. We can municipal solid industrial residues. We have forestry crops and all the waste from forestry, and also biomass that I can transform into electrical, biofuels, thermal energy. All of these have in their composition chemical energy, and that is what I use. So I want to talk you really fast about what are the main advantage of the biomass. The first one is the versatility, because when I have all those sources of biomass, I can have energy in any place that I imagine. If I am in the city, I can have sewage, I can have municipal solid waste. If I in a rural zone, I can have agricultural crops, etc. So it's really versatile. The other one is can we have the opportunity to give a price for something that is a waste. We can earn money from a waste. The third one is the economic impact, because we can develop the economic sector in each place when we have the biomass. So if the agricultural wastes are used, I can provide more economical incomes to people that lives from the field. And the last one is abundant. It's the abundance, because these ones are whatever we want, no? So after biomass, I will talk about geothermal. It's one of the less known, and the principle is really similar to use maybe carbon or oil for produce electricity. But what we use is the underground water that is in a higher temperature. What we use is the water with a really important temperature in the underground, and that is a consequence of the heat of the center of the earth. The magma irradiates heat, and that heat allows me to have water with a specific temperature, and I can, like if I will extract oil, it's the similar. I can make a hole and extract that water and to a high temperature and convert it into electrical energy. So that is the way, thermal energy into electrical energy. Where we can find this, and why I mentioned before Iceland, the country, is because there are some places where more volcanoes, more geographic that help to have these kind of conditions to use the geothermal energy. So we have geothermal energy close to Pasto, in the zone of Nariño. There is a good place for geothermal, and our neighbors, Ecuador, that have a lot of volcanoes, they have also a good potential for geothermal energy. And the last one is marine energy. I said before that the movement, the mechanical and potential energy concentrated into the oceans can be used to produce electricity. It is also something that we are doing. I have a video that Sebastian will help me to share with you that explains a little bit more easier the movement. Is this principle of over here, but in the video we can see it slowly and more clear. So tell me, Sebastian, I have to, okay. Try to read the information that the video gives. By the wind, which turn is caused by the sun. Okay. So we have an element that is floating over the sea, and that movement is what which we use. That coil that they mention is like the metal used for the electromagnetic champ that creates that mechanical turns into electrical movement. Thanks, Sebastian. I will share with you my screen again.
Please.
Give me 1 second. Okay.
Okay, while
Please.
I will remember to all students that we are receiving any questions that arise so that the guest engineer can answer them. So please don't forget it.
Okay, everything is so clear. uh, so this is the main way to use the energy content in the seas. There are another one that is just that put a wall and force to the water to cross the wall, and that movement also creates electrical energy. So here I do it again. When I try to to pass the slide using the mouse, it I don't know, something something weird, something weird happened. Again, what happened?
It's
Let
weird.
me see. Let me see. It never happened in my class. It's the first time that I have this. Okay. Yeah. So I wanna share with you some key facts that I consider is my opinion that I consider are really important to ensure the implementation of renewable energies. And thus are we need a diversification of source. How use it hybrid solutions. So one example is maybe I can have electrical energy from sun with photovoltaics panels or cells in the day when I have sun. Okay, but in the night I can use wind energy, so I can use those things, those hybrid systems. Another one is develop more efficient energy storage device, because I can save energy from sun to use it in at night with more efficient batteries, for example. Expand infrastructure for power distribution, because we are a really centralized distribution scheme right now, and it could be distributed. Yes, nor too centralized. And the last one for me is this one, this kind of conversations with you, with the academy, with the students, with the people. All the people must know about how renewable energies works, because it gives the opportunity to choose what you want to use. And that's it. I think that I can I reach the goal of the time. I don't know, you tell me, Sebastian. We are not listening to you.
Yes, thank you very much. And now it's time for questions. Okay, so we're receiving the questions from the students, for the teachers that share with us this time. We have the first question here, and I will read to you, engineer. Is what is the challenge of renewable energies in Colombia? What is the next step?
Yeah, a really interesting question. Well, the first challenge that we faced was the regulation, because we always need rules. How to do something without rules is impossible. So we need to know how to pay it, which are the the government entities that regulate some things. So that was the first challenge that we faced. In 2014, we have the first law for renewable energies, and since then we are starting developing the regulation. So we have a better regulation right now, but there are how can I say, a challenge in the implementation of that regulation for all producers. The big ones, they understand how the market works around the world, and they are trying to apply it to our regulation here in Colombia. But the small and medium producers, they have already a lot of how can I say it, the things to learn, and in order to start to the application. So that diffusion is the best uh, way to ensure a bigger use of renewable in Colombia, renewable energies.
Excellent, engineer. Thank you. Another question is, now, according to the different types of renewable energies, what are the most suitable or convenient we can start to use in our country, like Colombia, where the economical resources are limited?
Okay, that comment about economical is really important, because when we don't have, the world don't have any kind of energy and start growing the oil sector, we have to start creating the infrastructure. So we have a gas stations that we don't have before. Right now, we have an infrastructure for those kind of energies. And for the renewable energies, we need to build that kind of infrastructure. So that need money, that we need, or the governments, no Colombia, or in specific, that governments need to make a bigger investment right now. So for that reason, um, that is a key issue. For that reason, the regulation start showing and giving some incentives for the people that start renewable energies. For Colombian specific, I think that we are really, really lucky guys of the history, because we are in the equatorial zone, so we have a really, really good sun, solar irradiation whole year. So another countries have to use the sun energy in summer, in spring, but have a less production in winter. But we have sun whole year, and in some specific zones of the country we have really, really good sunlight a whole year. So we can have solar, we can have wind energy, maybe in the zone of La Guajira, in the north of the country, and in the zone of the Pacific, close to Pasto, Nariño, in that zone, Cauca. That zone has a really, really good source of wind, so we can put it then wind energy. And I am a defend, how can I say, a lover of biomass, because we are an agricultural country. So if we develop the agro in our country properly, with the right technology, with the right concerns about the non over exploitate the soil. So in that way, we will have a lot of biomass, good biomass, to transform into energy for the zones, because there are remote zones, rural zones that don't have access to electrical energy, for example. So we can ensure for them the access to electricity. So
Okay.
we are really, really lucky. We can use all of this one.
Yes, of course, of course. Colombia is so rich in these aspects. We have a question from 11th grade, and is taking into account that many countries have the necessary resource to start using these energies, why are we still the same?
We are not the same. We are doing a little bit, really, really, I don't know, slow in comparison with our neighbors. Maybe if we watch Brazil or Chile, well, they, or even Mexico, they are doing a better way than we, sorry. But we are, I think that there are, how can I say, a good attitude over the renewable energy sector, and we are starting to see. I will invite you to visit. I don't know if I can say it by chat. Unidad de Planeación Minero-Energética. I will.
It's just a little hard name in English,
Yeah. But
but
you can
oh,
use in Google UPME. That is the governmental entity that show you how many projects of renewable energies we have right now. I can share that with you. Maybe I can. It's a really good suggestions, because I can put it at the last slide and share with you how it the sector in Colombia. But we have some wind parks right now in construction. We have, I don't know, maybe 10 big scale solar plants. So we have some things that we don't have maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And we are trying to continue increasing that. since the universities, we are trying to promote, to support the maybe the adaptation of technologies to our country, and supporting the companies to establish more the renewable energies.
Okay, so we have many questions in our inside chat, but I will read the last one for today, and the other ones I give to you behind the scenes. And if you can answer me, and then I will share to our students the questions. Okay, and the final question is the last question is in Latin America. What are the most used and cheapest renewable energies?
It's a how can I say tricky question, because
Yes.
it's not a really definite answer to give. Um, I think that right now, with the development of the market, not the technology, the market, solar energy are cheaper, because since maybe I don't know 15 years ago, China started producing solar panels. So you know that everything that China sells have a lower price, and they produce a lot of units. So for that reason, solar is cheaper and is more known. The people have more confidence about solar. If I talk about how to produce biomass with a reactor and from I don't know, gasification or pyrolysis, the people will don't know what I am talking about. So it's so hard to introduce the technology. But solar is well known right now. So for that reason, solar is the cheaper, I think, when we don't have to storage the energy. That is a key factor. When I produce solar to connect to the to the network, that was the word that I was looking for several minutes ago. The network, the electrical network, I can give the energy during the day, and at the night I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to storage. So that um, reduce the cost of the installation maybe in a half, because batteries are too expensive, and batteries, a solar panel has a life of 20 years or more. If you put a solar panel, you will use that solar panel maybe 20-25 years without issues. But if you have a system with batteries, that batteries will need to be replaced into maybe 3 or 4 years. So it's something that need a constant investment.
Okay, thank you very much, engineer. And well, with this question, we finish this space of renewable energies. So thank you very much for your time, engineer, and we hope to continue to count with you in another opportunity.
I will be really pleased to continue with you talking about this, but this is my I don't know, my passion, the thing that
Of
we need,
course.
all of us, we need to know about it and promote and be part of that transition to a clean energy market.
Thank you very much, engineer. And students, if you have another questions, please let me know, and I will say to our engineer all questions that you have. Thank you very much, students, all community of San Pacho, and see you in the next opportunity. Thank you very much.
Bye.